your questions about the Omicron variant. It's got a lot of people worried this holiday season, so we asked you to tell us what you would like to know. And you did, and we thank you for that. Our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jon LaPook, is back. Thanks for coming back to answer some of your questions. Hello again, Dr. LaPook. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great.
Good to see you. Hi.
Right. John, don't sound so excited.
Don't sound too excited. All right, we got questions from the viewers. All right, so we need.
I'm still excited about Princeton. That's like.
Okay. Good.
I mean, you were a little more excited talking to Gayle earlier in the show. I know I'm just Nate, but let's jump right in though. So with Christmas approaching, Alex asked this: is it safe to do indoor activities if you're distancing and also masking? Should we go back to the level of precaution we had in 2020? What do you say?
Well, you know, the big thing is the masking. I think if you're wearing an N95 indoors, you're going to be okay. I think what most people want to do is, can they be with loved ones indoors without masking? And that's a little bit more complicated. I mean, I just spoke this morning. I reached out to Tony Fauci, and he said to try to avoid large gatherings like, say, 20, 30, 40 people, because that increases the risk. Rochelle Walensky, you know, you don't have to be smart, you just have to know somebody smart. So I reached out to her, and she said, it's very important the week before, you know, what's your risk been there? Because that's where you can pick it up with a incubation period of, say, 1 to 4 days, that kind of thing. Once you're inside, you know, if the second before if you have the testing, we've talked about these fast tests, if right before you take off your mask and go inside, you do a test and it's negative, that gives you another layer of protection. And of course, once you're inside, ventilation, air filtration, if you have an air filter, all those steps we've been talking about, you know, they add layers of protection.
Boy, I thought you raised a really good point when you said watch your behavior before the holiday. People need to pay attention to that. This next question, John, comes from Michelle. I love this question because I was thinking the exact same thing, Michelle. Your question is, it seems like we're hearing about a lot more breakthrough cases even after the booster shots with Omicron. Does that match the data? And I would add this, how concerned should we be about this?
Well, it's very clear that we're seeing a lot of breakthrough infections. And in fact, I'm an internist and a gastroenterologist. In the past week, I've had about 10 people who were fully vaxxed and boosted who got infected from other people who appeared to be fully vaxxed and boosted. And they're all doing fine right now. I mean, I don't think that's going to be for everybody, but so far it looks like the people who are getting the breakthrough infections who are fully boosted, that's very important, vaxxed and boosted, are doing better in general than, say, in the past. And we know what we really want to guard against is people out there saying, oh, I'm hearing that this is a milder version of the virus, and so I'm not going to get vaccinated. Do not do that, because we don't know to what extent in Scotland and in South Africa, the fact that it looks like it might be a little milder is because they had underlying immunity or vaccination, or that the virus itself was a little bit less virulent. So please get vaccinated and boosted. We'll say it over and over again that you have waning immunity, especially against Omicron. When you get boosted, it really brings it up significantly.
You can't say that enough. A lot of people rushing now to get boosted. And when you get the booster, how soon before it takes effect? If I get it today, I already have mine, but if I got it today, when does it kick in and I'm covered?
You know, I asked the CDC that yesterday, and within 48 hours, you start to get an increase in the titers, in the amount of neutralizing antibodies. Of course, I think, within a couple of weeks, you're really up there, but it acts very quickly, so it's never too late. Go get it.
Dr. LaPook, you mentioned underlying immunity. You've got a question from a viewer named Kate related to that. Given how contagious and widespread Omicron is, Kate would like to know, is there such a thing as herd immunity?
I love that question because, this has been a moving goalpost, right? We're saying how much do we need in order to be immune, have the herd immunity? And it may be that we're heading towards it right now with a combination of so many people getting infected, plus the vaccinations and the boosting. We might be heading towards herd immunity, and wouldn't that be great? I mean, one of the hypotheses, and it's just a hypothesis, to make people feel a little better with everything that's going on, is that we're going to see a big upslope because Omicron's so contagious, but it's possible that it's going to then start to go down faster like we're seeing in South Africa. It's going to be a bumpy ride. There are going to be a lot of hospitalizations because even if in one person the risk is lower of hospitalization, you're going to have so many millions of people infected. You're going to have pressure on the hospital system. Plus, you have flu and other things that are happening. So we're worried about that. But then on the off-ramp, maybe we get to that endemic status where Tony Fauci's been talking about wanting to get to less than 10,000 cases a day. It's kind of in the rearview mirror. It's going to always be with us, but at least we don't have to be just so staring it right in the face.
I like when you call Anthony Fauci Tony Fauci, Dr. LaPook. It's the most distinguished Tony in America, I think. He's our top Tony.
I'll go with Dokoupil. All right. John, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Happy holidays.